Welcome to today's webinar. This is just going to be another stop in our sleep webinar series. And as Brooke mentioned, today's topic is going to be about nutrition. So before we get into that, if you haven't seen the previous webinars, scan the QR code on the screen. You'll be able to watch them all. In those previous presentations, Brooke led us off. She went over the importance of sleep routines. Following that, Evan came in, gave us an in-depth understanding on sleep cycles. And then last month, I talked about the relationship between pain and sleep, how they interact. And I also talked about how to kind of best position yourself in bed when you sleep. So again, today's topic is going to be nutrition. And my goal for you today, is to provide you with a basic understanding of the relationship between nutrition and sleep, as well as the ability to make informed decisions on the foods you eat prior to getting a good night's rest. Sorry, my computer had a hiccup there. All right. One last little adjustment and we're good. Okay. All right. So before we dig in, we need to discuss sleep health and revisit some of the most important points that we've discussed thus far. As a refresher, let's take a quick look at the benefits of getting sufficient sleep. And there's a large number of them. So getting consistent, great sleep helps with weight balance. It improves mood. It improves physical performance. And it also improves mental and cognitive performance. So personally, those benefits seem pretty great. But now let's look at the quantity. How much sleep do you need? And from the table, we can see that ages 6 to 13 need about 9 to 11 hours. Ages 14 to 17 need about 8 to 10 hours. Ages 26 to 64 need about 7 to 9 hours. And then 65 plus need about 7 to 8 hours. Now, I will mention regarding these numbers, research does show gender will also change the required sleep needs here. Women will typically need slightly more sleep than men will. So this is just something to keep in mind as you look at your own sleeping habits and try to improve upon them. Right now, high quality sleep is important, but what does it look like? Well, it means that you're progressing through the sleep stages over the course of the night, being stages 1, stage 2, stage 3, and we have rapid eye movement or REM sleep. And then high quality sleep is going to be characterized by 5 to 7 cycles through those progressions. And then poor sleep, whether it's in quality or quantity, leads to a couple different things. So one, we'll see irregular hunger or appetite. So think about what snacks you typically search for when you're sleep deprived. And chances are they probably aren't the most nutrient dense options that we would have. We will also see an increased risk for chronic diseases, and this is due to changes in hormonal fluctuations, several other factors. And then we'll also see a disruption in blood sugar levels, and this will increase our risk for diabetes. And then from all of these factors together, we'll often see unwanted weight gain. Now, that's just a quick review of the important points. And again, if you want the in-depth stuff, just hop over to YouTube and check out the presentations. They've been awesome thus far. So we know the benefits of good sleep. We know how much sleep we need. We know what good sleep looks like. And now we also know what can happen when we just don't get good sleep. But how does sleep affect your nutritional habits? And let's start with hormones, which tend to get out of balance as a result of poor sleep. So first, let's start with ghrelin. Think of ghrelin as your hunger hormone. It's going to stimulate your appetite. It's also going to increase food intake and it can promote fat storage. In addition to this, there is some evidence that suggests it acts as a signal to stimulate a reward pathway in the human body. And then second is going to be leptin. Think of this as your satiety hormone. It'll help you regulate energy balance by inhibiting hunger. And then third, we have insulin, being our storage hormone. And this just has to do with blood sugar regulation. All of these are going to play a significant role in how your body handles being sleep deprived. To break this down, we need to address what happens when we see hormone imbalances that result from a lack of sleep. Well, first, we see an exaggerated food reward. Second, we see an increased appetite for high-calorie foods. And then third, you'll see a compromised inhibitory control of food intake, meaning you will continue eating, taking in more calories than you actually need. And those mechanisms that exist to tell you that you are full are not going to be effectively working. And this is backed by a significant amount of research. Evidence shows that short sleepers, being someone who sleeps less than 7 hours per night, have higher energy intakes. And this is most notably from fats and various other energy-dense snacks. In addition, the literature also shows that they will consume a smaller variety of food. They see lower protein consumption, lower carbohydrate, and lower fiber content as compared to a normal sleeper who gets 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. So let's say you're trying to get a good night's sleep. How does what you eat affect your sleep? Well, interestingly, protein consumption has been shown to contribute to less sleep disruption throughout the night. And we're specifically referring to lean protein sources here because high fat intake has been shown to result in less REM sleep, but more slow wave sleep. And also interestingly, high carb intake has been shown to result in more REM sleep, but less slow wave sleep. So ideally, a dinner with a balance of lean proteins, carbohydrates, and fats will support your sleep. And the fast food that many of us would grab on the way home from work, unfortunately, not so much. So it leaves you probably wondering, what kinds of food will support sleep? Well, let's start with tryptophan. Tryptophan is an essential amino acid that is a precursor to serotonin and melatonin. And we've covered melatonin. It's a hormone produced by the body. It does a lot of great things, supports circadian rhythm and your sleep. But more to the point, research shows that dietary tryptophan is effective at improving sleep. Well, what is tryptophan in? Well, it's actually found in a variety of dietary proteins. And I've listed several of them here below. It can be found in milk, turkey, chicken, fish, and many more. So tryptophan consumption is likely to support your nutrition and sleep habits. I do want to mention, though, that this idea of balanced meals is very important here. Carbohydrate consumption alongside tryptophan-rich proteins has been shown to complement the sleep-enhancing effects that have been demonstrated here. All right, and then next up we have Tart Cherries, believe it or not. So Tart Cherries actually contain high concentrations of melatonin, as well as a range of phenolic compounds, which hold antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. A 2012 study was actually able to demonstrate that the introduction of Tart cherry juice resulted in significantly elevated total melatonin levels in their subjects. They were also able to demonstrate increased time in bed, increased total sleep duration, improved sleep efficiency, and a significant reduction in daytime napping. But I want to add to this and take a quick moment to talk about melatonin in foods. And it is found in a lot of foods. Melatonin content in food isn't the primary mechanism for supporting our sleep. If you recall Brooke's initial presentation on sleep routines, she discussed planning sleep around light cycles, as in viewing the sunrise and sunset to cue mechanisms of sleep and wakefulness. Light cycles will do far more in the way of natural melatonin production than what is consumed in food. So just keep this in mind as we move forward. All right, next up we have another sleep boosting fruit, kiwis. Am I blowing anybody's minds here? So kiwis contain a range of nutrients that can benefit sleep, health, and recovery. And this includes serotonin, vitamin C, E, K, folates, carotenoids, potassium. I'm stopping there. There's many. It also contains many antioxidants, which would support the suppression of free radical expression and inflammatory cytokines. So it has numerous benefits to your health and, by extension, your sleep. And a 2011 study was actually able to support this by demonstrating that the introduction of kiwi before bedtime improved sleep. But I want to circle back around to one of the nutrients I mentioned a moment ago, being folate. So many people are low in folate. This is really common just due to the fact that folates are destroyed from cooking. But kiwis are eaten raw, so their folate status is left intact. And research shows that improved folate status subsequently improves sleep. So this is just another possible food to consider adding to your diet to support not only your nutrition, but your sleep as well. All right, and then another factor to consider is going to be your digestion. And unfortunately, there's a lot of factors at play here, but the important thing to know is that it will take your body around 3 to 4 hours to fully digest and absorb the food that you've eaten. And this process will continue while you're asleep, causing chemical reactions that will in turn affect hormones that regulate sleep cycles. There is limited evidence suggesting food timing can affect the quality of sleep, but in some cases, digestion may cause discomfort and leave you unable to fully relax. And this is most often seen as heartburn and more often than not, an upset stomach. And one quick solution for that upset stomach that you might experience at night is just have a glass of ginger tea before bed. You can cut up just fresh ginger root, toss it in water, hot water, or you can also just have they sell powdered ginger, and that's usually a nice, easy solution for an upset stomach, and it'll allow you to relax and actually get to bed. So, all right. Obviously, those issues will likely cause significant disruption in getting good sleep, but what things do we do from time to time that will definitely contribute to sleep disruption? I wanted to start with caffeine. So, caffeine consumption can interfere with sleep quality later in the day, especially if that caffeine is consumed later in the day. It also contributes to higher levels of cortisol in the morning. And just remember that cortisol increases in response to stress. So it would make sense that if consumed at the wrong times, that stimulating effect would actually interfere with your sleep. And then let's take a look at your nightcap, alcohol. So research shows that its consumption, again, even later in the day, will result in less restorative sleep and much more time spent in the light stages of sleep. So even if you feel like it's helping you fall asleep, your quality of sleep will greatly suffer. Just something to keep in mind. All right, so we can very clearly see how important nutrition is to your sleep, and proper nutrition from food is going to be key to your personal health. But I wanted to follow up with a quick conversation about supplements. And there are a couple that have been shown to support sleep. And I know we had a question last time, and I hope to provide more information on that this time. But I'm not going to give any dosage recommendations of any of these today. Dosages are going to be highly based on your gender, your body mass, and your activity levels. So have a chat with your doctor to see if you need the extra support through supplements or to even get those dosage recommendations. So as far as supplements are concerned, I wanted to start with the B vitamins. So we got vitamin B12. So vitamin B12 has been shown to contribute to melatonin secretion. And then we have vitamin B3. And this has been shown to potentially lengthen REM sleep. And then we have vitamin B6. Vitamin B6 has involvement in the synthesis of serotonin and tryptophan. And oddly enough, it's actually been shown to potentially increase your dream content and the vividness of them. Next up, we have magnesium, personal favorite. The literature suggests that it enhances melatonin secretion, which promotes sleep onset. And then we have melatonin. I want to spend a little bit of time on melatonin. This has been shown to correct sleep and adjust circadian rhythms to light cycles in the short term. So the short-term part is important. So melatonin is a natural hormone produced by our bodies. And so a man by the name of Dr. Richard Wortman, he's an MIT neuroscientist who actually introduced synthetic melatonin, originally as an option for insomnia patients. He went on to discuss in an interview that melatonin supplements tend to work at first, but after a while, you'll stop responding to them because you desensitize the brain. As a consequence, not only won't you respond to the melatonin that you take, but you won't respond to the natural melatonin that you produce. So it can actually promote insomnia over time. So with that said, your diet is going to be far more important than any supplements you take. And the goal should be to support all the natural systems of your body through food and allow your body to work through its normal physiological pathways to support sleep. And research shows that the vitamins and minerals gained from a nutritionally dense diet act as cofactors for the synthesis of natural melatonin. And they contribute to this process in supporting sleep far more than any melatonin or synthetic melatonin can. So with your diet, variety and balance is going to be the key here. Get as much color of different fruits and vegetables in each day as possible to support those vitamin and mineral needs. Unfortunately, we aren't going to be able to outrun a poor diet, but if you eat well, your body will respond in kind. So that's where I wanted to end today. Thank you all for joining me. I've listed our resources used for the presentation up here. If you guys want more information on sleep, sleepfoundation.org is a wonderful, wonderful resource. You also have available to you the Sleepio app. Check that out if you want a little extra support for your sleep. Otherwise, next time, Rusty's rolling in with sleep and mental cognition on September 15th at 10 a.m. Keep an eye out for that one. And if you guys would like to see what else we have going on, just scan the QR codes. Check us out on YouTube, Instagram, or Spotify. If you guys have any questions, I will do my absolute best to answer them. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your day.